exactly what I was getting into. So the biggest hole on paper for the Chargers is the receiving core. And you look at our first round pick last year, Quentin Johnston, who is honestly, I haven't seen some shit like this since like, this is like,
Kevin White.
you said who?
Kevin White.
Fuck is that?
He was first round pick.
For who?
Back, I want to say maybe the Bears. Yeah, the Bears. He was a seventh pick, 2015 receiver. See, you don't even remember him. Seventh pick. Didn't do
Like,
shit. He had zero touchdown in his career.
yeah, Quentin had one. And what's so frustrating about Quentin, like, it's just almost like, I can't even, I can't I can't even compare this to anything. The closest thing that I can compare it to is a situation that was kind of similar but completely different. Like you remember when Kelvin Benjamin went off his first year, but then after that fucking sucked ass.
He
You know
got
what I
fat.
mean? Yeah, yeah. So and because he's a big receiver, has dreadlocks. So like I'm like okay, like this is kind of Kelvin Benjamin esque, but he's Quentin is not a natural pass catcher. Like I'm watching
Mhm.
him in camp. I watched all of his film last year before today. Watched his highlights, quote unquote. It was every pass thrown his direction, the drops, the catches. He has a problem catching the ball
He's
away
a
from
body
his
catcher.
body.
Yep.
Exactly. And I think that's on the Chargers scouting system because when they drafted him to replace Mike Williams. And they said, okay, here's this guy, physical specimen, 6'4", African American, has dreadlocks. He can replace Mike Williams just because, but Mike Williams is a jump ball guy. All of Mike Williams' catches come with his arms up here, out there, away from his body. Quentin Johnson is a body catcher, yards after catch guy. So he might as well not even be 6'4". He might as well be 5'7" because he plays within his body and doesn't use his wingspan to his advantage.
Plays
But
small. Plays a lot smaller than he is.
he plays extremely small, and that's what's frustrating. So,
Hmm.
but the thing is, if he can get past that, I don't know if he can. You have to put in so many hours, man, on the jugs machine after practice. Is he willing to take that set? Because he had opportunities to make a difference last year. He just didn't make. You look at some of the jump ball opportunities he had that could have changed games. The catch at the drop at the end of the Green Bay game, a couple drops earlier in the season as well that changed that could have won us games.
Packers game.
Yeah, the Packers game. Yeah, where he drops the ball at the end of the game because he has to catch it. He dropped a touchdown, I think, against the Texans where he got pass interference. But if he just catches it out there, it was like a post, he scores a touchdown. So, like I'm saying, I feel like he can be the X factor this year. Rumors coming out of camp from what people say is that Lad McConkey is our number one, which I'm totally fine with. If he could play, he can play. I don't care that he's white. If you can play the damn, I'm on record for saying Julian Edelman should be in the Hall of Fame. So I don't care what race you are at receiver. If you can play the damn game, you can play the damn game. And I'm a big guy. I'm a big Joshua Palmer guy too. He can play. And then Brandon Rice, I think he's a deep threat. So I'm saying we got the weapon. We just got Will Disley. We lost Gerald Everett, who's a solid tight end. But
Hayden Hurst.
Parham, we got Hayden Hurst who can run. He's fast. He can block. He can do it all. You remember when he was in the third tight end on the Ravens when they had three tight ends who could play that Lamar Jackson's, I believe, rookie or MVP or his MVP or he had Hayden Hurst on his team. Hayden Hurst was catching 70, 80-yard touchdowns and shit. So he can play. So I think the weapons are there on at receiver, especially for Herbert. So I think what the direction that we're going in, we're going to be a heavy run team and then that's going to make us a heavy play action team. And that just makes it that much easier for Justin Herbert and making his reads. And I also think that another thing the Chargers should do is utilize Justin's legs more. Because what a lot of people don't know, Justin Herbert ran a faster 40 time than Josh Allen. And when you think Josh Allen, you think of a guy who's a danger on his legs. Justin Herbert, he's not as elusive as Josh Allen, but
Yeah.
he's straight line speed. He's faster. He's just as athletic. They need to utilize his legs more.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'7", 240 pounds. Okay, I understand you don't want him to get hurt, but he's a big boy. Tell him to slide, but he can move. We're not reaching his full potential by keeping him in the pocket. He should be at least running 4 and up read options. He should be able to take that shit out the belly and keep it. Our offense would be so much more dangerous if Justin Herbert was keeping 4 read options a game.
And I think even like building on that, I think he has to take it upon himself to be more of a playmaker in the pocket too. Because a lot of times he's too willing to just kind of stand there and be a statue in the pocket and go through the progress. Obviously, he moves around a little bit in the pocket in terms of sliding and whatnot. But I think he has to be more willing to be creative and get outside the pocket because that's where he's even more he's even dynamic, as you said, because he has the ability to make throws on the run. He still has the ability to launch the ball 50 yards down the field on the run. So I think that he has to also, it's also on him to be able to, recognize that, hey, I have the ability to make more plays outside the pocket and outside of structure. And that's what all the best quarterbacks today are so elite at, is that Mahomes and the Lamars and the Josh Allens, all the big plays and in the key moments, especially when they need it, when it's the fourth quarter, when it's a big third down conversion, these guys are extending the plays. They're making plays with their legs. They're scrambling for first downs, or they're sliding around the pocket. They're moving around. They might do a spin and they might spin around, do a little you know what I'm saying? Like type shit, like
Yeah, yeah.
just being elusive, making like being creative. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's what's lacking a little bit in him is that he doesn't have that creative component to his game just
That's a good way
yet.
to
Like
put it. The
he's
creativity.
shown yeah, he's shown flashes for sure. Like I remember, I think it was against the Steelers or something when he had that game when he ran for almost over 100 yards. I don't know if it was over 100, but that was probably his high rushing mark on that Sunday night football game. Like I remember he had a play where he underhand tossed, like he escaped the pocket, he threw a little underhand. Like I think those little like creative plays will take his will take his game to the next level because I don't doubt anything he does in the pocket. As a pure pocket passer, he's undoubtedly a top 5 pocket passer in the league, if
Yeah,
not better
yeah.
than that. So I
I
think that,
wish I wish using the size. I wish he had a higher release point. He kind of
mm-hmm,
throws a little bit sidearmed,
mm-hmm,
where his shit will get batted down even at
mm-hmm,
6'7". But yeah, like you said, he needs to use his God given ability, put a little bit more sauce in his game. But yeah, and part of that is the game plan, but part of that is the difference between him and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, yeah, you might call some shit in the pocket for Josh Allen. Josh Allen might see some shit. He might see, oh shit, they only got the linebacker and the edge on the inside right here. No matter what the fuck happens this play, I'm looking this way and taking off right here. He got to add some of that to it. He got to go rogue a couple times. Josh
mm-hmm,
Allen goes rogue at
mm-hmm.
least 3 to 4 times a game. And yeah, some shit. Herbert is a one stiffer pause, and 2 safer player than Josh Allen. So I understand that you're going to get less turnovers because he's not going to take as many chances, but he's definitely got to use more of his God given ability to his advantage. And a guy who kind of reminds me of him coming into the league this year, uh, that do got some of that Josh Allen that
Drake May.
as I call it, yep, that Huckleberry Finn game where he running out there just playing backyard football. Yeah, Drake May. Drake May will take off. He'll try to hurdle you. He'll do all day. He'll do the pitch, the ill-advised
I
pitch.
like that. I like that.
Yeah,
You
he
gotta
got some. Yeah,
have I think that he can find a balance between having that creativity and that little flair to his game
yeah,
with being obviously prioritizing protecting the football and not turning the ball over, not putting it in harm's way. I think that he can find that balance. I don't think he has to go full Josh Allen, but I think that there's another step that he can take in that sort of in sort of that like lane of being more creative, more
right,
willing to do things that are unconventional.
right, and yeah, that's that Huckleberry Finn. When the big white boys, you call that Huckleberry Finn, Keith. And so and Harbaugh being there, he played quarterback. He's a quarterback guy, so he's going to be able to bring that out of him. You look at all of the quarterbacks. You look at the quarterbacks that Harbaugh has won with. So you look at Alex Smith, he's a mobile guy. You look at Colin Kaepernick, he's a mobile guy. You look at JJ McCarthy, He's a mobile guy. So Harbaugh is gonna encourage, hey man, sometimes on 3rd and 6, you gotta hit the gap when it's there and get that first down. I need
Yeah,
to.
he's going to have to do it probably even more this year because especially when you're getting into those third and long situations, oh, teams are gonna dare. They're gonna man up our receivers and they're gonna dare the receivers
To
to
get
beat them.
separation. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're gonna dare
and
Lad
that's gonna
McConkey.
open up. Yeah, and that's gonna open up running lanes. That's gonna open up opportunities for him to extend plays and get outside the
Absolutely.
pocket because
It's gonna.
their
Yep.
DBs are gonna be having their backs turned to him, and so he's got to be able to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. 3rd and 6 is gonna be a lot of zero coverage.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Especially early on in the season, like you said, they're gonna be daring Quentin Johnson to catch a slant route because he can't fucking catch with his hands. They're gonna be daring Lad. They might even double Lad McConkey, little white ass. And then they got what's it called? Palmer. But I'm telling you, man, Palmer, he can.
Yeah,
I like
Palmer's
Palmer a lot.
he's
He's a, he
decent.
he's a legit number 2 receiver. He's a great number 3. I'll say it. So we're a receiver away from our offense taking that next step. Like if we would on top of what we got,
Yeah,
depending on what Lab McConkey is, I got to see what he is. So um,
and I guess based on the early reports is that QJ is number 4 on the depth chart behind DJ Chark, and that's another guy who you're hoping
ooh, I
you're
almost forgot about
hoping,
Shark. Shark's a deep threat.
yeah,
Shark can
you're hoping
play.
he can come in and make an impact and be that kind of third guy behind Palmer and McConkey.
Shark after his rookie year, they was looking at him like
Yeah, he
he
was
was
good.
he was
He had a year in Jacksonville where he was really good.
he was right under Terry McLaurin after his rookie year. They had about damn near the same rookie year. So like yeah, he's 6'4", he can run. I think he runs 4'3". So he can play. Yeah, that he was on Detroit last year, right?
Carolina.
He was on Carolina last year. I think
Yeah.
Detroit the year before that.
Mhm.
But yeah, he was just underutilized. But yeah, the talent's definitely there. But I'd like to see Brendan Rice. I liked the film that I saw from Brendan Rice. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he definitely he was able to every time all I see in his college highlights is that he's getting behind DBs. So like yeah, so I don't know. He's finding ways to get behind guys. So I like him as like a deep threat. He kind of reminds me of a Michael Gallup, almost like player where he's a good jump on the end zone guy, but he has a little bit more run after catch ability. So we're gonna see there. We there's a lot of unknown when it comes to this Chargers offense.